All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another DC Worlds Collide video. This is Mr. Squirrel, and as always, glad to have you here. Let's chat a little bit about some things that are coming out that, so this is just kind of like an update video on my thoughts on why some things are being prolonged, because I've been thinking a lot about these things, and I have some updates on just Mr. Terrific, some general plans moving forward in terms of my summoning. This is just going to be like a weekly update before we get a weekly update. This is a quick recap on some thoughts and ideas. First thing I want to go over is we have yet to see this new upcoming Green Lantern artifact. And this has been a little weird because this artifact was specifically designed for Green Lanterns, and they've even said for guys' damage and survivability. I was like, interesting. Now, I've had a lot of thoughts about why I think this might be getting, I think there's a delay on it. I think it's this right here, this first passive. And I think it's actually both of these passives. So Guy can auto attack multiple times, up to 6 times in a turn. We know this because if you get his badge all the way up, he can attack up to 6 times, right? That means he has 6 separate instances of getting a shield. Remember, it says you get a shield for every 5 up to 15% based on how high his rank is, based on 15% of his damage dealt. If each attack is a separate instance of damage, that means he's having 6 separate instances of shield gaining, which means that there are potential turns where he can get 6, like, imagine this. So let's do the damage amp, right? So they gain temperature and damage amp for 1 turn. Now, this one will just be 10% flat, 10%. This one, though, let's talk about this one. Damage reduction each time you get a shield. Let's imagine in a turn he attacks and he has 6%. He hits someone 6 times. He's just gotten 60% damage reduction if this is tallied that way, because then it's auto attack, get a shield, auto attack, not auto attack, but it's like just auto. We'll just call it auto attack, like his passive attack, like it's just his normal attack, right? But he goes 1, 2, 3. First hit gets a shield. Second hit gets a shield. Each of those, if this is being tallied that way, each one of those hits is giving him a 10% damage reduction. So normally he'll probably be sitting around 3 or 4, but that's nutty if that actually triggers that way. I actually think they need to tune that a little bit, like maybe a max of 30%. Because if he's running on Lex Luthor's team, his shield now also gives 12% damage reduction. So if he gets a real lucky turn, he's sitting at 72% damage reduction. While doing insane damage. If that's how this works, I kid you not, I will drop everything I'm doing and I will summon for him immediately and make him a main tank and put Lex Luthor in the back. No joke. If they release this and that's what happens, I kid you not, I will make sure I 8-star him immediately. Because he would be insanely broken. Like insanely broken with this artifact. I'd have him ult first, trigger it, boom shakalaka, and he's just doing tons of damage, sets up the team for like Hal Jordan to be doing tons of damage, and you've just got this and you can just sit up in the front and tank like there's no tomorrow, because he's sitting at a consistent 20-30% damage reduction at all times. He's got damage amp, he's got tons of shields. So I think they're tuning it, because this could be very problematic in terms of, like, he's better tank than Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor just is going to get relegated from A to back. You're just going to do damage, or you're just going to be a support tank. He's going to be my main tank. We'll see. I think that's why this is taking so long to come out. I think they're tuning this, because I think if this operates that way, he would be way too broken. Just because he's doing so much damage and he is doing so much damage reduction. Like, I really wish devs would talk to us about this. I think, again, I've made another video that people didn't, I got some feedback on, but the communication here is really important. I would really like to know why we're waiting so long for this artifact. He came out almost a week ago at this point, and we still have not seen this Green Lantern artifact, which is a little frustrating because I want to test this out. Because if this works this way, then I need a summon for him, right? But then this also brings in another issue that I want to bring up, why I'm scared to summon for him. I was originally going to actually just do a summoning video for him. It's because of this. I want to show you something. So I did some perusing. I've been going through a lot of stuff, and I've been looking through. I haven't been able to find a lot of information. So we are at the end of the Justice Gang season, right? Or I think we're rounding it out now. Now, if we look at this, we already saw the Superman event, which has now ended, and there's nothing up. We thought, Mr. Terrific would come out when the Superman event went away. Did not. Again, guys, devs, really, I'm begging you guys, you need to be more communicative about what is going on. These people are, I think, getting frustrated or just like, well, I have no idea. The game's kind of just meh. And I don't blame people for feeling that way. I'm not asking for all content all the time, but a little bit of communication roadmap. Hey, he's coming out this day. But I want to show this. Brand new 2 epic characters, Green Lantern, Guy Gardner, and then Mr. Terrific. I think that's what's going to be this week's content. So this brings up another issue. So I'm hoping this is what happens. He comes out in a couple of days, and then this is an event, and it's a free-to-play event. And we can all get Crypto the Superdog. That'd be great. I'm really hoping, and then we can summon for this, the new artifact, Krona's Power Gauntlet. So we're still missing all of this content right now. Mr. Terrific, who is an epic. This is why I'm a little sad that he's an epic, because I think he's going to be broken, and I think a lot of people have already used their tickets, their mother box tickets, on Guy. And so we got all this stuff still sitting here, and we're about to have another mother box coming out, because again, maybe he's not, I don't think he's going to be super encrypted. I don't see them doing that because he's an epic. Epics always fall under the just normal encrypted tokens, which is the purple ones, not the yellow ones. And so you want to save these. So whole lot of events. I really hope, I think this should be a free-to-play event, guys. I really do. We don't have a lot of, you know what you could do? Just make another, Batmobile. Just make another Batmobile event. I think that would be great. It entices people to summon for Mr. Terrific. Make Mr. Terrific broken because he's a support. I don't really care. And, I think you do need to tune this. I'm really worried about this artifact and how it's going to pair with Guy Gardner, because if it pairs the way I'm thinking it pairs, he could be sitting at 72. Like there are turns where he will be like, let's just say he does 2 to 3, right? Normal. Let's just even go 3 attacks, right? 3 attacks. He's got 30% damage reduction for the next turn. So he's always sitting at 30%. He's just done a ton of damage to the back line, like some character with the highest attack. And with the shield, with Lex's leader skill, he's sitting at 42% damage reduction. He's sitting at the same damage reduction as Lex Luthor with a ton of shield because he just did a ton of damage. I know that seems kind of broken. Yeah, I don't know. I think they're balancing it, but again, I'd love some communication on this, because if this is the way it works, I'm not lying to you. I'm going full Hamtaro on him, and I'm going to go summon for him, because then that means that he is better than Fate. He is better than all the other characters. He's better than Jess. He's better than Fate, and I need to go build him the bleep up as fast as possible, right? But also, we also hear, remember how I said that Mr. Fantastic, it's right here. So I want to show you guys, apply burn or debuffs. That's there. So look. Burn is the order of events that are coming out. Burn is for Superman. Debuffs, which is intercept, Guy Gardner, or even countering debuffs, Mr. Terrific. So they gave you the order of what they do, right? Burn, debuffs, and then countering debuffs. So Mr. Terrific is going to be a counter debuffer. If you saw the other video, that's what he's doing, right? But again, I'm going to keep coming back to this point. I think the reason they're holding off and releasing this is that I think there is a broken interaction between it and Guy. Again, I would really, weekly reset is tonight. I am really hoping they do something, give us some information tonight. Because if not, I might actually try to summon a little bit for Guy, just because I think he'd be a really good tank for the shield team. And I'm noticing Lex is just getting like destroyed now, especially at high deficits. He gets kind of mollywopped. And I kind of want to put him in the back row, so he's just constantly giving the team shield, and throwing people out to auto attack, which doesn't need to happen later. But when I lose him, I lose my team's ability to generate massive amounts of shields. So I don't know. Crypto, I have no idea what Crypto's going to do. I hope he's just fun. I don't know. I really want them to make him like fun and free to play. Everyone gets it, like with every artifact. I actually want to show something real quick. So if we go back to the game, the reason I want to show this is if we sit here with the artifacts, all the elite artifacts, I think all artifacts are going to be able to be attained. Artifacts reinforcements are going to be able to be obtained free to play. Because if we click here, go to unlock, it's parallax fragments, go. Parallax limited time event. I think all of these things will be obtainable free to play. Devs, reinforcements should always stay free to play. They should be something that you reward players who play your game for, like, it's kind of like the Batmobile. If you played, you could get it. You just needed to play. You needed to do all the stuff, and you needed to play daily, and you were rewarded with a really good reinforcement. The same thing, that's how you get people to play this game. Super dog, super cool, right? Crypto, yeah, the super dog. If you play every day and you do these missions, which can be achieved through free to play means, then you can get this amazing reinforcement. Entice people to play. That's what we need right now. The other thing that I want to go over, so look at this. So currently I have 25k gems and 80 mother box summons. I have 166 super encrypted tokens that I was like, man, I was kind of hoping it was legendary, so I only need to pull 1 or 2 copies of them, and they'd be 8 stars. I now need to pull 4 copies of him to get him to 8 for Mr. Terrific. But here's the thing. If there's that broken interaction with Guy and the gauntlet, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Because then I do want to pull more copies of him, or I want to get copies of him, because then he just becomes absolutely, Hamtaro busted. And then I've got this amazing shield team with 2 attackers, with one of those pretty much just being a frontline tank. But I don't really know what to do in this situation, because we aren't given a lot of information to work with. And at the same time, I have, if you count these out, so I've got, for the Guy Gardner, I've got 80 summons plus 25k gems, which I think you can use these here, right? So let me just look at this. About the recruitment, guarantee every 40 if the recruit. So, it's guarantee every 30, you have a 30% chance of pulling Guy, right? But then I just don't know. Like, I'm saving now these tokens. So I'm like, great. So I've got to save these and these. And the only thing that I'm spending my gems on is going to be the weekly recruitment, because I don't want to use these super encrypted, because there's going to be new characters coming out that I want to pull. There's, featured recruitment for the epics, but then, Guy's really good. I think he is good. I just don't think, if that artifact comes out and it's as broken as I think it is with him, then he becomes almost a must summon. He becomes must summon with the artifact. Without the artifact, I mean, he's like, whatever. I think he's good. Not whatever, but he's not pushing the needle in it. He's not breaking the meta needle. But if he does, there are turns where this kid could be sitting at like, well, not kid, but this guy is sitting at 72% damage reduction on a Lex Luthor team. 72% damage reduction. And then with a massive shield. Good luck getting through that. So I'm really curious to see how Guy interacts with this artifact in the sense of he's getting that damage reduction, because then it's so broken. But it would explain why we're not getting information on this artifact and why it wasn't released with him. I think they realized this, that it's like, oh shoot, we're having a character that's outputting single target damage like Batman that can go up to 72% damage reduction and is tankier than Lex Luthor. Yeah, that's called, and it's an epic. And I do not want them to make like super crazy power creep, but that's power creep in a nutshell. Now, if this is limited to one instance per turn, so just like a 10% damage reduction, 10% damage amplification, and then first time you cast, it's shields to the whole team, then that makes sense. Now, the thing that's also crazy about him is that, remember, on the Green Lantern team or on the Shield team, there's other people giving shields out. Let's just say he does his like auto attack and Lex Luthor gives him a shield. And so he's done 6 auto attacks. He's now got a shield, 72% damage reduction because of the leader skill, right? If this is how it works, there's no cap on it. Lex then gives him a shield. He's now sitting at 82%. And let's just say then he ults in 92. Kid's got 92% damage reduction, outputting insane levels of damage with a 10% damage boost while giving the whole team shields. Oh, and by the way, since he gave the whole team a shield when he first ulted, he's now at 100% damage reduction. If this is compounding on itself, if this is additive, that needs to be addressed. I run a shield team and I don't want that to happen, because that will literally make this character, like, he will just power creep the game. There will be nothing that can stop him. He will just sit in the front row. I will legitimately take every resource I have from this point on and just put it into him, and he will literally solo the game. Because he will be sitting at a consistent 50 to 70% damage reduction all times. Like now anywhere between 30 and 70 at any point in time, while having massive shields because he's critting left and right. I don't think that's a possibility. Again, here's my personal take on this artifact, is that I think there's a very easy way to do this, is you cap it. 20 to 30% damage reduction. I think it still makes him very broken. In fact, I think if they do even cap it 30%, I might even say he's, with the artifact, is super worth summoning for, because that's nutty. I don't know. I don't like it is so each time you get a shield, that wording is throwing me off. Maybe it's like I don't know. We'll see. I really like, devs, can we please get some updates on this artifact? Because there is a lot of ways it's going to interact, and if it does interact in the way I'm thinking it does, you have a character that is going to power creep the entire game and is an epic, which is fine, and that means everyone has an easy chance to get him. But we got issues here because you have a broken interaction between 2 items because he's multi-attacking, right? He's a multi-attacker. Again, I am contemplating pulling for him, if that's the case, because then my Green Lantern team does need some single target. Well, it needs, more damage in general. I don't know. That's my update for right now. That's my thoughts on what's coming out, and why I think we're not seeing certain things happen right now, because I do think that the game, they've realized this, and they're like, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe tonight it'll come out. I don't know. I posted on X and like, or Twitter, whatever. Where is this? Where is this artifact? That it's literally advertised with him. It's not in the game. I don't understand this. Where is Crypto? Where is Mr. Terrific? Where are all these other events? Like, I know people are like, well, you know, like game's kind of dead right now. Like I'm not expecting for a million things to do. I literally log in, run my dailies, which take maybe about 10 minutes, and then I'm gone, right? And that's not going to entice new players in. Why did so many people jump in the first 2 weeks this game came out? There was a Superman event that was super cool. I'm not saying you need to have one of these all the time, but that thing's been gone now for a week, and we're just kind of sitting here. Just kind of like, okay, which is fine too, because that allows people to gain resources. But then you're also releasing 2 characters. And I don't want this to be a knock on the devs. I don't want this to be a knock on the devs. But like, we're releasing 2 epics back to back that are both summoned with the same currency. I mean, that doesn't feel the greatest. Feels like maybe you go or release them at the same time and let people choose, right? Then people are like, well, you didn't give us enough time to get the resources. I don't know. I'm worried right now. We're kind of hitting a lull, and that lull is lasting for a while now. Like, we have not had any special events to do since Superman, and it's been a hot minute since that was out. And again, I'm not asking for 10 years worth of content. But honestly, communication, please. I have a video coming out tomorrow. I think you guys are doing a wonderful job, and other things. I think the character shards are great. There's another video talking about ways for players to summon properly. You'll see that video later. Yeah, I do check their posts. They were at SDCC this week, San Diego Comic-Con this weekend. But again, we don't really know a lot what's happening right now, and I really think like a news, guys, I think one of the things that'd be really helpful would just be a news tab right here. That's it. I think just say, let us know, like right next to Event Center, just give us a nice little news tab. Let us know what's up. Roadmap tab, or like updates, because I go to the Event Center and I can click through these things, but I just want a comprehensive place where I can read the news. Does that make sense? Rather than always having to go to the website, because people aren't going to go to the website. They're not going to check that out. I think it'd just be nice to have that so we know what's up. But that's my thoughts. And my plan, I would say plan accordingly. And why I think the artifact's taking a long time to come out, and why I think they're being hesitant with it, because I think they need it to scale it, because otherwise we got some serious issues with this thing and how it will interact with like a very specific character. It will make Guy, if it operates the way I'm thinking it is, and there's no cap on that, like every time he receives a shield and each instance of his attack is considered a separate instance of getting a shield, that dude's sitting at he could be sitting upwards of 90+%, given like the team comp and stuff like that. He'd be sitting in the 90s in damage reduction, while outputting Hal Jordan levels of damage. It's a little nutty. So, all right, that's it for this video. Remember, always, failing is just your first attempt in learning. See you guys tomorrow.